it was something that I wanted to be a part of, but I really didn't know how to be a part of it. And I started seeing it on TV, the food trucks across America, and then you start seeing every week down in Greensboro, there's a food truck festival somewhere. And then I was able to be blessed to meet Miss LASONYA, and I spoke to her. We spoke maybe twice, and I was just like intrigued, and I said, can you please come talk to the community about what it takes to really do this, because I think it's really awesome. And it's working. She is evidence of it working, and that's it. And now, without further ado, Ms. LASONYA Holmes giving us a world of information on food trucks.
Thank you for having me. So I have a little spiel that I kind of do in the very beginning. I'm not great off the top of my head, so I do have it written down. So excuse me if I look down too many times. So first of all, good evening, everybody. First off, I'd like to welcome you all and thank you for joining us for this session of the ins and outs of the food truck industry. Tonight, you're going to learn from me firsthand knowledge of truck ownership, how to do the business, how to run the business, how to make yourself great, hopefully. Hopefully I can actually do that. First, in order to have a food truck, you must have a dream, a love of the game. And the dream that I speak about is not Webster's definition. It's actually the love of food, cooking, customer service, hard work, all of that good stuff. People say all the time, you work hard, you work long hours, you can't do it, how can you do it? I have learned that now that I have a food truck and I own it for myself, it is still hard work, but it's my hard work. And I'm okay with my hard work. I worked in dialysis for 16 years as a dialysis nurse. And I was burnt out. I was so burnt out with just the ins and outs of, going to work every day, making somebody else money, taking care of patients. No, nothing against taking care of patients at all, because I love my patients. But it was just draining. It was very draining. 12, 13-hour days on my feet all day long. So I was like, it's got to be something else that I want to do. And I love to cook. Okay, why not go to culinary school? My grandfather owns a restaurant in South Carolina. He owns a barbecue restaurant. So I was like, well, I already have the background. Just go to culinary school, get some paperwork behind you, find a truck, and work your dream. So here I am, by the grace of God, loving it, working it. That's about it. That's, a mom of two, wife, married 13 years, together 17, sorry. Mother of two, and it's just what I do. So I know you guys want to maybe go through and introduce yourselves quickly, and then we can start some quick questions.
All right, my name is Brooke. Currently work as a customer service representative, and just hoping to find some information to possibly catch on.
My name is Todd. I'm also a customer service agent at PCT. Just looking to get some information about the business as or the industry as a whole.
I'm Charlene, currently school bus driver. So I'm just here to learn, because I've been saying for probably about 2 years I'm going to be in a truck. And my daughter, Charlie, is the one who said, Mom, you need to go, they have it. And she kept asking me down to 5 o'clock, are you going today? And I was like, oh, yes, I can make that. I can make that. So, because normally I'm over the road in the summer. So I was like, I can go nowhere. Okay, but I'm here. So that's a start for me. I'm happy that I'm here.
My name is Morgan Jones. I'm the owner of Flower Child Productions, where I mentor youth and give them employment opportunities in the arts. And I'm here to learn. I love to cook, so this is something that's always a possibility in my future. So
Hi, I'm Beverly Gray. I'm a pastor and part owner of Anna Diana's, which is a catering event planning service, and this is one of my bucket lists, and I'm going to do it. I just need the information to get started with things.
Hi, I'm Ashley Adams on the other half of Anna Diana, as well as a 2-year-old teacher, and we're here to learn information to get up and rolling.
I'm Leslie Griffin. I'm a transportation security officer at the Greensboro Airport. I've always loved to cook. I started when I was like 4 years old with my easy bake oven, making stuff from scratch. And my dad also loved to cook, and we always wanted to have our own business. But he passed away, and I always say I'm gonna live that dream, and I'm gonna get my own food truck.
My name is Mike. I'm a supply chain coordinator for Tyco Industries. Just wanted to come get information. I will own a food truck here shortly. Barring for this information I get from you, I follow you everywhere. You kind of inspire me. You and Urban Street Grill, I follow y'all like, everywhere. Yeah, I mean everywhere. So yeah. I'm definitely just wanting information about how to start, how to get a truck, everything. It's going to happen. That's needed. Needs to get started.
Absolutely.
So we have compiled our questions, and we're going to ask her those questions, and then y'all can do Q&A. Any other questions if we haven't already asked them. Okay. All right. So our first question is, why did you decide food? But you already answered that. Yeah. Okay. So I'll go to the next question.
Does everybody know that y'all heard it right? Mm-hmm. Just my love of cooking. My grandfather owned a restaurant, and it's just grew up cooking.
All right, the second question is, why a truck versus a store?
For me, I like being out in the community. I've always been a community person. I work with a lot of nonprofit organizations. I don't like confinement. I don't like being confined per se. So just being out there and have the freedom to go and move and see people and meet people in different locations is great. 1. 2, financially, having a truck versus having a restaurant. When you have a food truck, you crank up your generator, you buy your gas, you make sure you have your propane, you pay your employees, you go home. When you have a restaurant, you have electricity, you have water, you have gas, you have 10, 12, 15 employees, you have rent that you have to pay, you have to maintain every single month. The only thing with the food truck, there are a lot of insurances that you have to carry, but it still does not equal the amount of having to pay $2,500, $3,500 for a building, and then you have your employees to take care of and all this other stuff. So for me personally, it was the choice of, do I really want to have this much hanging over my head and to start, or do I want to have this that I know I can pay cash for my truck, just, handle the propane, things like that on a weekly basis. So it's literally, it's just financial. It's whatever you see best financially.
Question number 3. How did you come up with the name?
So, and this may sound bad, when I first wanted to get the truck, of course the catering company is My Girls Catering, because I have 2 daughters. And I wanted to have their picture on the truck. And I was told, don't do that because some people may not support you if they know coming in that you're an African American owner. Because it's a field, 1, it's a field that not many women are in. It's predominantly male. Anything you do as far as cooking is predominantly male. And then being an African American female, as far as I know, still currently currently, I'm the only African-American female that owns a food truck as far as food. There are dessert trucks, there are ice cream trucks, but as far as a food truck, I'm the only one that owns a food truck, as far as I know. So I wanted to have the girl's picture on the truck and, you know, the whole thing, and, you know, my assistant was like, I don't know. Until you get out there, get your name out there, people know your food for your food and not for the fact that you're African American. So that's why I went with a generic name. You know, I didn't go with, and some people get on me, my mom always says I should have had something Christian in the name of the truck. But that too, I was like, well, you might have brought off some people because now they're like, oh, she's a holy roller, you know. And then I had people, you know, oh, she's black, and I see her black kids all over the truck. So very generic, just, you don't know until you see us. I'm letting now we're plastic all on Facebook, but, you know, in the very beginning, you know, you didn't know who we were until we got there and we had a chance of people tasting and knowing the food before knowing, oh, that's a black lady, I'm not even going to support her, or, you know, so.
All right. Question number 4 is, how are you planning to compete with other trucks before you started?
Before I started, I just knew, honestly, I just knew what I wanted to do. I never went in saying, oh, I can beat this truck, I can do better than them. I know I got them. I never did that. It was never my, even after we started and the truck picked up and people knew the truck, people were like, oh, you got it. I never went into it saying, oh, I can beat that person or I can do better than them. I was like, God, whatever you have for us is what we're going to do. You're going to make it happen. You're going to make it work because it's your will. So, you know, I really didn't go into it with a mindset of competing with other trucks. I went into it with a mindset of, this is what I want to do, and I know I can do it. So never, you know, even now when people, you know, come up to me and they're like, I mean, people still say this to me every day, and I'm like, well, if you can do it better than great, by the grace of God, go ahead. But people still come to me and say, I can probably do that better than you can. You probably can. You know, and if it's God's will for you to do it better than me, then God bless you. Do it better, but never go into it saying, I got you, I can do that better than you can any day. Never do that. But people, they always, I can do that better than you can. I don't know how you, by the grace of God. That's what God said, so here we are.
So number 5 is, what are some of the paperwork steps? All right, everybody get the writing.
Oh, get the writing.
Paperwork steps.
So let me tell you, Guilford County is the very hardest county to get a food truck in. They nitpick. I have 3 fryers, a stove, oven, griddle, industrial side refrigerator, and freezer on my truck. First of all, just get that out there. Huh? Sinks. Okay, yeah, sinks and everything on the truck. So, my fryer, remind you guys, now if y'all ever seen my truck is pretty big. So all this stuff is crammed into my truck. I was literally 2 inches away from the wall, and it shut me down for 3 months until I could figure out how to close that gap between the wall and that last fryer. They went to the point of wanting me to have a piece made to attach to the fryer and go up the wall to make sure oil does not drain. So I'm going to say, because it takes a lot of money to put a truck together. Whatever you do, go by the health department first. You know, you may want to do a baking truck, you may want to do a regular food truck, you know, whatever kind of truck you're deciding to do, go to the health department first. Get their guidelines. Talk to David Faust. Talk to James Pretty. Talk to them and ask them, if I'm doing a dessert truck, what do you want me to have established truck. Because I promise you, like, they will, y'all have no idea. I mean, 2 inches, look, you can ask my husband, he's right there. 2 inches from the wall, and they held us up for months until I figure out how to get it fixed. So you gotta, of course, once you talk to them, they'll give you a couple hard times probably, because that's just how our wonderful Navy Fox is. But you have the permits that they'll give you. You have your permit, you have your insurances. There's, of course, the actual insurance on the truck. You have to carry, depending on what kind of food you have to carry a minimum of a $5 million policy, insurance policy. What other paperwork? That's really, the city, you have to go to the city. You have to have permits through the city in order to get a city permit to park anywhere in the city. I think that's all the paperwork that you really have to have. But like I said, the hardest part and the first place to start is at the health department. And they charge you a $500, between $250 to $500 fee just to do, I think it's called like a mapping of your truck. Like they actually will map out a plan of your truck for you, which that I did not know before I had my truck built and bought it. So now when I do talk to people, I say, do that first. And let them tell you what you can and cannot have, because they control your menu, they control everything. So, like right now I have fish, chicken wings, and chicken tenders on my truck that I serve. If they came on the truck and I had ground beef on the truck, they'll make me throw every single drop of it in the trash. Everything. They pop up on you, they're just like a restaurant. We're just like a restaurant. They pop up on you at any time, they do inspections, and they always get you at your busy. You have to send your weekly schedule every single Sunday of where you're going to be, and they pop up at any time. So you have to make sure you keep permits and things like that in the window. Can I get off track with the question?
Nope, you're still on
Okay. Yeah.
But you did say something interesting. You said your weekly schedule.
Yes.
Where does that come from? Do you make that schedule?
Yeah, because like on Facebook, every Sunday, if I do right, every Sunday I post where I'm going to be every single day. And then I post it every single morning. So the list that you guys see on Facebook is the exact same list that every single Sunday I have to email to the health department. Because they have to know where you are. If somebody calls and says, hey, she's over here at the library, did you know she was here? And if they don't know, they'll come and shut you down. You get 2 tries with that. If they find out that you are at places that they do not know you're at, and they pop up on you, they'll pull your permit. Once they pull your permit, you will not be able to work in your county anymore. You'll have to take your truck to another county, get it approved there. You can come back into Guilford County and work, but you have to pay them $250 a week in order to be in the city of Guilford, in the county of Guilford County and work. You have to pay them because you're in Guilford County. Yes, ma'am.
Question, you stated that with the mapping of the truck, the parking zones mapping of the truck, they choose what you serve?
Yes.
But if you don't go through them, you're
going to go through them.
Okay, and they tell you what you can and you cannot.
They ask you in the very beginning, what is your menu going to be? You tell them what your menu is going to be, and then they tell you what your menu is going to be. Right. So I went with this notion of, I'm going to have this menu, all this stuff. He's like, oh, no, ma'am, you're not. No, ma'am. You're going to have this, this, and this, and these sides. And anytime you change anything, you have to go to them, get them to approve any changes that you make, if they say yes. If they say yes. So.
Did they ever say why?
Why what?
Why they won't allow you to cook certain things? Is because
we are mobile. Now, if I was in an actual restaurant, I could have a whole slew of stuff. But it all depends on your amount of of storage on the truck. They're gonna look at how big your refrigerators are, freezers, things like that, how much you can actually store. So if you have small, you know, stand-up refrigerator, that kind of thing, they're like, you can't, even though you know in your mind, hey, I can easily do this. You know, I've been cooking for hours. I can season some fish and cook it and, you know, and have my chicken. You're like, no. You only have one fryer, or you only have two fryers. You only have a small refrigerator. You only have this or that. And they'll say, no, you're not having that. Or if you want, say, like eggs and different things like that, fresh stuff. They're very, very particular about fresh eggs and what's another thing? Because we have so many allergies, eggs and breads and all kind of stuff like that. So they're really, really particular about things that they let you have on the truck versus being at a restaurant. Yes, sir?
About the commissary?
No, we haven't got to the commissary yet. Do you have a question on there about commissary?
Well, he brought up commissary, tell us about it.
About commissary. So, having a food truck, you have to have a commissary. And if you don't know what a commissary is, that is a restaurant that you're attached to. Every truck has to have a commissary. Commissaries right now run anywhere between $450 and up a month in order for you to use your space. It doesn't matter if you're doing hot dogs, chili, cupcakes, and you decide to put nachos on your truck, you officially have to have a commissary behind you. You have to go to your commissary every single day. Every piece of food that is on your truck has got to come off that truck at the end of the night, go into your commissary. You have to wash your dishes, dump your trash, do everything at the commissary. Every morning before you go out, you got to go to your commissary, pick up all of your stuff, and get ready for the next day. Depending on what you have on your truck, you have to cook your stuff at the commissary. I'm allowed to cook on my truck only because I have a full stove and oven. I have a 4-burner gas stove and a full oven on my truck. So they do allow me to cook on my truck. Other than that, I would have to cook at the commissary. So if you don't have a stove, you've got to cook at the commissary. Bring your stuff on the truck, and you have to have a way to keep it warm. It has to stay at temperatures. You have to have your surf safe. No. You don't have to have your surf safe certificate. It helps a lot when you go to the health department if you have that, because they know you've already studied temperatures. You already know how to store things. You already know how to wash things. You know, you already have that behind you. You don't have to have it, but again, it does help.
Is that a class?
It is a class. I took mine at GTCC when I was in culinary school. I took it with them, and they did all my certifications and stuff there. And it's good for 3 years. So every 3 years, you have to renew it. And you have to take like continuing ed classes just to make sure that you stay up to date with everything. Or like I'm a part of the ACF, which is the American Culinary Foundation. So with them, we have monthly meetings. So I go to that and I get my points, quote unquote, points from those meetings.
All right, question 6. Roundabout investment cost for a truck.
So.
This is a good one. Pins, yeah, paper.
It's a little hard only because, okay, dessert trucks, you can get a dessert truck $2,000. A food truck, depending on the size of your truck, what all you want on your truck, you're going to start anywhere from $45,000 and up for a truck. So when I say that you better be serious, like you really have got, like I've seen trucks that are $150,000 that are custom made, freaking amazing. My truck is not $150,000. It is nice, but it's not $150,000. but they do go as high as that. But you know, starting price, and I'll just say for myself, starts at about $45,000.
Do they allow you to finance?
If you can find a bank, if you have good credit, yes. Yes.
Everybody got that?
But like I said, you know, dessert trucks, or you know, or if you have a smaller truck. Now you can have a smaller truck that, you know, you may have like a little tabletop fryer. You know, you don't have to have huge industrial sized fryers and things like that. You can have a tabletop fryer, or, you know, the heating thing. You know, you can have the smaller version, and you can start, you know, about $5,000 to $6,000. But again, it just depends on the size of everything that you want in the truck.
What are some of the food laws you learned?
Food laws?
I think you might know some of that. They told you what you can cook, what you can't.
Oh, yeah. For the health department, yeah.
And you mentioned temperatures.
Right. That's what you sort of say, you know, having those, that class, it basically tells you how to handle is great handling food and things like that.
All right, number 8. How soon should you or should someone expect to see a return on their investment in a food truck?
Honestly, it depends on the product and your following of people. By the grace of God, we started, and within to see an actual return, not saying that the truck is completely paid for, but to see, just to be able to say, okay, I left a full-time job, 40 hours a week, we can breathe now. It took about 6 months for us to actually be able to say, okay, it's okay that I left this man's job. And we can actually breathe now, and we're okay. It took about 6 months of grinding. When I say grinding hard, like if anybody has been following us from day one, hours out there in the heat, grinding. And when we first got in the truck, I worked full time still, and I had my crew running the truck for us. So really, actually should say a year, because I left my job 6 months into having the truck. And that's when we were like, oh, that income is gone.
Yeah.
Like, dang, like, you really don't have a check coming in this month. That's when we realized, like, so I'm gonna say at least a year before you can actually see, you can see a clearing of, okay, we're gonna survive, we're gonna have money at the end of the month after paying all insurances and fees and everything else that Guilford County wants. It was at least a year before we were actually comfortable and actually able to say, okay, yeah, the light's not going to get turned off this month. We're good.
That's good. When y'all say that's good?
Yeah, I mean, for real, like all jokes aside, like when you leave a permanent 2-week job that you know, I mean a permanent 40-hour-a-week job that you know, unless your spouse is making a killing. And my husband does great. I thank God for him for allowing me to follow my dream. But honestly, you know, when you're working off of a 2-income household and one person all of a sudden says, hey, wait a minute, I'm going to do this for myself and I'm not going to have that every 2-week check coming in, for us, I want to say, you know, it was a real thing of which bill is getting paid today. Right, and I'm just being honest. We could actually see some revenue and a clearing of, okay, we've got this down packed and we know how to, you know, make everything work. Yes, ma'am.
Did your strategic planning call for you to have that truck out all year, or how many months out of the year do you have to work that truck?
We run every day. Like we run year round.
Year round.
But now a lot of trucks shut down in the winter time. They shut down from October till about March, but we run year round because it is my full-time job and I do have to pay the electric bill. And I do not want to go work for anybody else. This is my dream. This is what I want to do. And you expect that electric bill to So, yeah.
All right, so we're on number 9. I have 3 more questions after this.
Okay.
What is considered a good day financially? Food truck. And what's a great day?
You got some of those. Good day, again, just depending on what your following is. You know, how your followers are. I'm gonna say a good day, not trying to tell anything financially, at least $500-600 for a day. Not, just.
What's a great day?
What's a great
What's a
day?
great day?
Depending on if a person might happen to be at a festival or something like that. 2,500, 3,000.
Ooh, that's a great day.
So it can happen and it can work for you. You just gotta have a great following of people. You gotta have a great product that people will.
What was that number again?
Huh?
What was that number again?
How
much?
What? A great day?
2,500.
Yeah, that's a great day. 2,500 to 3,000 dollars in one day. Make you want to work tomorrow. Like, I'm going back to work.
Right.
What are some of the things to watch out for again? Being on the truck, what are some of the things you have to watch out for?
Are you saying as far as?
Just anything. It could be security-wise, stealing, or...
On my truck, I have a crew that's been with me forever. So, you have security cameras on your truck. Just always watch your money. Always watch your money. You love folks, but always watch your money. We have security depending on what event we're at. But most of it, we really don't have problems, but thank God, we don't, we've never gotten held up